Everyone, my name is Carolyn Douglas. I am an internship coordinator with the Career Center, and today we'll be talking about career fair prep for our crash course special edition workshop. So today we'll just be talking about how to prepare for, navigate, and find success at your next career fair. I'll have 3 tips to do before the fair, 3 tips to do during the fair, and 3 tips for after the fair. All right. So the first thing to do before the fair is just start to prepare your resume. Make sure that it looks professional and that it's completely updated with everything you want to highlight to employers. And print out plenty of copies. So we suggest about 10 to 15 copies to be able to hand out to employers as you're meeting them. If you need any help with your resume, whether that's editing it or just knowing where to start, feel free to schedule an appointment with the Career Center. We would love to be able to help you guys with that. And then also before the fair, it's a good idea to start doing your research. You can look on Handshake to see what all employers will be there. And then you can look through Handshake to learn more about those employers and even go onto LinkedIn to see even more information about those employers and what they do and what their recent activity has been. So if you go into Handshake, once you're logged in, over in the sidebar, you'll see the Events tab. If you click on that, it will take you to a page that looks like this. Under Categories, just click Career Fair, and then find the career fair or graduate fair that you are planning on going to. Click on that one, and then there'll be a section that says Employers Attendees. This is going to be a list of all of those employers who will be there. You'll be able to click on those hyperlinks and see more information. There's oftentimes even a contact for a recruiter who you can reach out to if you end up, needing to follow up with somebody and you forgot to get their contact information. That's a good place to go after the fair as well. And then once you find that information, it's useful to look through all of that, figure out what the company does, what their values are, and the positions they're hiring for. If there are positions that are open on Handshake, those will be listed under the Employees tab or the Employers tab, so you'll be able to see that in there. You can also see more information and the recent activity of the employer on LinkedIn. So if you go on and follow them on LinkedIn and start connecting with them, you'll be able to look at all the things that they've done recently. And it's a good idea as you're looking through this information to make a list of the companies that you're most interested in meeting. That way you don't forget about somebody when you get to the fair. You make sure you meet all of the people who really grabbed your attention. So also before the fair, it's a good idea to start creating your introduction. You want to have a good idea of what you're going to say when you walk up to that employer. The perfect intro is going to answer who you are, what you do, and what you're looking for. So just practice saying those things out loud, how you're going to introduce yourself, so that way you're confident on the day of the fair. A good example of this is this right here. It says, "I'm Britton, and I'm currently a senior mass communication major at Georgia College and State University. I have worked as a social media intern for a variety of local businesses, and now I'm looking to grow as a social media manager for a larger scale audience. I'm proficient in Adobe Photoshop and InDesign, certified in Google Analytics, and have experience writing blog content for small businesses." So this answers who this person is, what they're studying right now, the position they're looking for, and the past experiences they've had, all within a few seconds. So using this kind of example as a model can be great as you're creating your introduction. Some people call this an elevator pitch. So if you've already created an elevator pitch, that is great. And you can start with that when you walk up to an employer. So once you have gotten your resume ready, you've researched the people you're going to be meeting, and you have your introduction ready, you are ready for the day of the fair. When you come in on the day of, it's a good idea to dress business professional. So for women, that's going to be a blazer and a nice top with dress pants or a knee-length skirt. Men, it will be a business suit with a tie, closed-toed shoes all around, and it's a good idea to wear more neutral colors. Remember to bring your resumes and the list of employers you want to meet. And when you first walk in, there'll be a check-in desk. So you'll check in and you'll receive 2 things. You'll be handed a map of the career fair layout. So where every employer is located will be listed on that map. You'll also have the opportunity to scan a QR code that lists the opportunities that are available from all of the people who are there. So if you kind of want to go through and see, who is hiring for what position, you can look through that. Hopefully you've also been able to look at that on Handshake before the day of. Once you have the map in your hands, it's a good idea to look at the list of employers you want to meet, find them on the map, and kind of start to map out who you're going to go to first and how you're going to, go through the fair. If you have any questions, feel free to come up to a career advisor and ask us for help. We would be happy to help you. As an extra tip, when you're mapping out where you're going to go first, it's a good idea not to go to your number one employer. So if you have somebody who you're like, I absolutely want to meet this person, I want to get their job or internship, it's a great idea to go to some other people first, just to start practicing introducing yourself and having conversations, kind of get a warm up before you get to that person who you're really wanting to meet. So as you're walking up, it's a good idea to start creating dialogue. Start with the introduction that you prepared, and then create a conversation from there. Ask meaningful questions from the employer, and have good nonverbal communication. Keep good eye contact, have good posture, and just be confident. While you are talking with them, it's a good idea to ask some meaningful questions. So these can be like, what kind of entry-level positions exist within your company? Do you offer internships? What does your hiring process look like? These sorts of questions are going to show that you're engaged and you're interested in this position or the employer. It's not a good idea to ask how much you'll be paid or what the company does. Hopefully you've already researched, what that company is and what they do. So you have kind of a background knowledge on that. And you want to show that you're interested and not just in it for the money. So you can find out more about the salary and payment and all of that at a later time. On the day of the career fair, you're just going to want to focus on those meaningful questions. And then before you leave their booth, make sure that you ask for a business card. That way you have their contact. You can follow up with them later. If you ever need to reach out, you'll have their information right there. So once you've met all of the people you want to meet and you go home, within the next 24 hours, it's a great idea to go ahead and follow up with who you meet. So either through email or through LinkedIn, connect with them. Send them an email or send them a connection request on LinkedIn that thanks them for their time, and include specific details from your conversation. Mention something that y'all talked about, or a specific thing that stood out to you when you were talking with them, so that way they remember who you were and it's not just a general thank you. They're probably going to be getting a lot of thank yous, so it'll be good to stand out a little bit with a specific example from or a specific detail from what you talked about. And if you have the opportunity to include your resume, especially if you're emailing them, go ahead and include that resume. Hopefully you're able to give it to them in person, but they could have misplaced that. They got a lot of resumes that day, so sending a virtual copy is just going to give them another chance to look through it and have it in another location as well. Now, once you have done all of those things, you have had a successful career fair experience, and hopefully you are going to be able to create some great connections and eventually, land that job or internship you're looking for. So thank you so much for your time and for listening, and best of luck at your next career fair.